Now for this last section, what we're going to do is we're going to add some new functionality that's just come out with the release of Simpleviewer and Tiltviewer plugins for Photoshop CS4. Now, if you're picking this up from here, what I recommend is you use the downloads folder, which is going to be for lesson 16, and inside of here, you want to make the root of your website this RC Photography website root. Now, make sure that inside here you have this section here called Flash Gallery, because that's what we're going to use. If you don't have that, just grab the Flash Gallery folder from here and put it inside your website root folder. But that's where we're going from here. Now, in Dreamweaver, let's go ahead and move that out of the way. I always forget to do that. In Dreamweaver, I have my files, and we're pretty much all set with all of this stuff. But before I do any of this, I kind of want to do a little bit of cleanup of the code. Now, what I'll do is I'll click on my index.html just to kind of bring that out and take a look at what the page looks like up until this point. Now, I'll preview this in Safari, and it looks good. Notice that there's a lot of scroll here for a page that's relatively short, and I want to change that. And I think that has a lot to do with CSS styles that we set up. Notice that the header doesn't have a specific height that goes all the way down. The container does. It has this height of 955. Why? I don't know. I'm going to get rid of that. Well, I do know. It's just that I didn't necessarily want it to get in the way when we're doing a specific design. Now, the main content tab also has a height that I want to get rid of. And I know that my content box also has height that I want to get rid of. So those heights were only necessary because I wanted to kind of visualize everything. So now I want to let my heights be a little bit more automatic. So I'm going to preview this, and I'm going to refresh. Notice now the page is a lot smaller. Go to my About section. Page is only as small as I want it. Looks a lot better. Go back to my intro. That looks pretty good. So that was a cleanup that I wanted to do for that, but not necessarily related to Tiltviewer, but you're going to love Tiltviewer. I'm going to close this. I'm going to save this file. Now, this is how you're going to find it. Right? Go to John Knack's website, blogs.adobe.com/jknack. And it was a post that he did back in January 6th. Now, it's this one here. Airtight Flash Galleries come to CS4. Airtight's this company that does these galleries for Photoshop and for Lightroom. And if you can't find it, just type in Airtight Flash Galleries right on his blog and then say CS4. You'll see that the first entry that comes in is this entry. So what they've done here is you can download the CS4 versions of these scripts. It downloads the XP, and just like before, when you double click on this, it'll open the extensions manager and install this into Photoshop. Now I'm going to decline because I already have it here set up. So I'll close this. I'm going to show you this. This is awesome. I'm going to come over here to Photoshop. Now, it is also important to say that inside of this lesson folder that I have here, under the RC Photography, inside of there I have a website folder and I have this Flash Gallery. I don't have to include these original images here. These could sit inside of the Client Images folder. Matter of fact, go ahead and do that now. I have them in the website root. You'll see that it's in there called Flash Gallery. Drag them into your correspondence folder. Into your Client Images folder. Because I want to be able to stress the fact that you're not going to reference them. It's going to do something for you. That you're going to select this as the source, but your outcome is going to put over here. You'll see. Come over to Photoshop. Inside of Photoshop, click on File, click on Scripts, and under Scripts, you'll see Tiltviewer. And a folder pops up. Now, before we fill that in, let me just kind of show you what the images look like. Right. Actually, I'll show you right from the RC Photography folder, Client Images, because that's where we put them. They're just images that I had. I was just kind of playing around with. I don't want to do anything with. They're not great, so don't start sending me emails judging me on them. They're just all rejects. I didn't want to necessarily put anything, like nothing on there. Have you guys have something for you to play with. So that's not important. Here's my input folder directory. I'm going to click on Browse, and from there I'll go to the Lesson 16 RC Photography, Client Images folder, and select Flash Gallery. Click Choose. The output folder is going to be wherever you want to save this. So I'm going to go to my Lesson 16, Photography, Website Root, and I'm going to call this I'm not going to call it Tiltviewer because that's going to kind of give away what it is you're using. So I'm just going to say Gallery 1, and I'll click on Create. And that's the folder that I'm going to use. Now, Tiltviewer puts in this radial gradient that kind of goes from this gray to black. I'm not a big fan of it. So what I'm going to do is right here, the gradient set color, I'm just going to make that 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. You can put the flip side back color. We'll play with that a little bit later. You'll see it's really cool. The other thing I want to change is the image size. I know that my width of my page is about 500 in that container, so I'm going to make something about 450. Background color is going to be black. Frame color is going to be white. The flip side is going to be a different color. You'll see what the flip side is later. Center and edge are fine. Number of image columns and image rows look pretty good. Matter of fact, I can probably make this 4 and 4. And with gallery. That's it. All of this flash coding is just killing me here. Ugh. Action script and objects and event listeners and all of that kind of stuff that we could be talking about right now. Which, hey, if you're a Flash designer and you're a Flash coder, I'm sure it's pretty important. But can you do this? And how fast did we do that? That's pretty good. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I'm going to go ahead and try to turn it up so you can hear it. That's pretty cool. That's it. Gallery's up. Oh, look, there's a page 2. And moving your cursor around. Good. I like it. I like it a lot. So this is Tiltviewer. Guess what? Let's close this. Thank you very much, Photoshop. I've done no code. Come back to this page. I'm going to go back to my file section, and inside my file section, I'll refresh, and I'll take a look at Gallery 1. There's my index.html. I'm going to double click and open this. There's no code. Don't worry about it. Just go to your assets and drag out your template. Go to your body, change that so that the body goes to the content area, so that the head goes to the head area. Click OK. And we've applied this to the template. I'm going to click on File, Save. Now there's a couple of changes that I want to make here. I'm going to go to the CSS styles because it puts a couple of local styles in here. Notice in the HTML section, it puts in something, and under the Flash content, it puts in something as well. So there's some stuff that I want to change, as well as inside of the source code, there's some stuff that I want to change as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go Code View, and inside here is just a couple of small changes, right? Nothing really all that big, but it's this guy right here. Notice that this is at about 100%, 100%. I'm going to make this 500 and pixels. And for now, I'm just going to make it 300 pixels. And I'm going to see how that works for me. I'm going to do a File, Save. I'm going to preview in Safari. Pretty good. I'm liking it. That's it. We've done no code. How cool is that? Now, I'm going to go ahead and switch back over to my design section. And it's kind of hard for you to see it here, so I'd actually switch back to your code view and maneuver all the way down here. Right, you see this area? That's the end of the script, and then this is the end of the editable region. I would just put in an Enter key, a couple of keys there, and just put in Content. And I'm going to zoom out. I'm just going to save this and go back over to my design view. It's a lot easier for me to be able to see the block there. Now from here, what I can do is I can add, I'm just going to add, I don't know, maybe 3 blocks of text. The only reason that I'm doing that is because I kind of want to show, all right, well, you can also put some stuff inside of here. It's not just using a gallery. See, looks pretty good. I expand this out. Now notice, if I go over here, I don't have a scroll bar. That's not good. So I'm going to close this out. I'm going to come back over here, and I'm going to go to CSS styles. Now, I know that scroll bar is being controlled by this one section here. Notice that the import that they do for the HTML shows an overflow of hidden. I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to select it, and I'm going to make it auto. I'm going to save that file, and I'm going to preview. There you go. Now we have content, we have Flash, and we have a site built inside of Dreamweaver. Now the last thing, if I wanted to be able to make this completely complete, what I would do is I would go to my asset, and inside of my assets, open this up, and link my galleries to that one file that I have there. So what I'll do is I'll go to Gallery 1, I'll link it to my index page. I'll update all my files, and now save, close. I'll go to this, and having that set, now I'll preview in Safari. Pretty good. So we've taken a concept from Photoshop, designed it, masked it, copied it, ripped it to pieces, and put it into Dreamweaver, and added some multimedia quality.